All right, welcome to Fanatics Football, the football segment of the Fantasy Fanatics Podcast. I'm your host once again, James, and I'm joined once again by Nate and Mete. What's up, guys?
So,
How's it going?
All right, in today's episode, we're going to recap some more NFL action for you, and then we'll just jump right back into the pickups for fantasy football. We'll give our pickups for the week, and then we'll just preview some games for week 8. Let's just hop right into it. Let's get to the scores from week 7. We'll start with Thursday night. Cleveland Browns beating the Denver Broncos 17-14. This is an interesting game. Both teams without a lot of players. I think significantly the Browns were out of a lot of offensive players in this game. I guess just looking at the stats for them, it was pretty interesting. Case Keenum got the start. He had 199 passing yards and a passing touchdown. In terms of rushing, Dearness Johnson, 22 carries, 146 yards and a rushing touchdown. Then for receiving, Austin Hooper, 2 catches for 42 yards, and Jarvis Landry, 5 catches for 37 yards, and Johnny Stanton had a catch for a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on the Browns. It's a clutch win, even though they didn't have a lot of players.
yeah, I think this was more or less a must-needed win against a team with really solid defense, and they've been playing pretty hot. So, a pretty needed win.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. This Denver team also needed a big win. They didn't get it, of course. Teddy Bridgewater, 187 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception. Javonte Williams, 4 carries for 20 yards. Melvin Gordon, 8 carries for 18 yards. So really not much on the ground going for this team. In terms of receiving, Cortland Sutton, 5 catches, 68 yards. Noah Fant, 5 catches for 39 yards, and Javonte Williams had 6 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown, and Melvin Gordon had 2 catches for 14 yards and a touchdown. So at least both running backs got a touchdown in this game. Mete, getting to you, I guess 4 losses in a row for the Broncos. It's not looking good.
Yeah, definitely not looking good after their 3-0 start. Like you said, 4 straight losses. And yeah, I really expected them to win this game after I saw Baker, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb out. So yeah, I feel like they missed an opportunity here. Speaking on this game specifically, I feel like, I don't know, their run game, they didn't get to use it that much since they fell behind. So yeah, it was a tough game for them.
Well, at least even though the run game wasn't that great, the running backs still played well. Both of them found the end zone in the receiving game. So at least they have talent there. It's just they need to sort of have a better scheme, in my opinion. But just getting to the next game, it's the New York Giants, this depleted roster. They beat this Carolina Panthers team 25-3. It's insane what this Giants team was able to do with the shortage of players that they had. I'll get to the stats first. Daniel Jones, 203 pass yards and a passing touchdown. He also rushed 8 times for 28 yards. Devontae Booker had 14 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. Then in terms of receiving, Darius Slayton, 5 catches, 63 yards. Evan Ingram, 6 catches, 44 yards. And Dante Pettis had 5 catches for 39 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, Mete, getting to you on this Giants team. Surprising win. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it is kind of surprising. It's a good win, definitely. Holding the Panthers to 3 points. It's great for them. Great defensive showing for them as well. I feel like this team, they're definitely way better than a 2-5. So yeah, I feel like they're not playing up to their potential. I think once they get Golladay and Sterling Shepard back, they'll be even better.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. This Giants team's pretty banged up, but still found a way to get a win, which is impressive. And then getting to the Panthers, Sam Darnold, 111 pass yards. He threw an interception. He got benched. PJ Walker comes in, 33 pass yards for him. In terms of rushing, Chuba Hubbard, 12 carries, only 28 rushing yards. So not much going for this team. DJ Moore, 6 catches for 73 yards. Chuba Hubbard had 4 catches for 28 yards, and not really anything else that was notable for the rest of this receiving core. Nate, I'll get to you on the Panthers. This team also has lost 4 in a row. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I guess this is really unfortunate for the Panthers, especially because they had a really good start for the season, but now they're kind of slipping. I guess we keep saying like without Christian McCaffrey, it's a lot tougher, which it is, but at the same time, at this point, they have to try to find a way to, I guess, get their momentum back.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. If Christian McCaffrey comes back soon at some point, that could help. But yeah, I believe Stephon Gilmore will be coming off the injured reserve as well, so he'll help sort of on the defensive side. Something has to go right for this Panthers team because everything seems to be going wrong right now. I think Darnold also needs to step up next game for sure. And then getting to the next game, this game was a thrashing. It was a beating. The New England Patriots beating the New York Jets 54-13. There's pretty much no mercy from this Patriots team. I was really impressed and happy about this. Getting to the Patriots stats here, Mac Jones, 307 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and Kendrick Bourne threw a passing touchdown that went for 25 yards, which was pretty impressive from him. Then getting to rushing, Damian Harris, 14 carries, 106 rush yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. JJ Taylor, 9 carries for 21 rush yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So 4 touchdowns on the ground for this team. And then through the air, Brandon Bolden, 6 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Kendrick Bourne, 4 catches for 68 yards. Jonnu Smith, 2 catches for 52 yards. Nelson Aguilar, 2 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 5 catches for 44 yards. And Hunter Henry had 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on the Patriots. I guess, what are your thoughts on this big win?
I mean, it's still pretty impressive, even though, I mean, it was against the Jets, but at the same time, I mean, it was still 54 points. Everybody was like on the same page. I noticed Kendrick Bourne scored a touchdown off a passing play, which is kind of surprising. So I guess they just had a really good week all around.
Yeah, I mean, everyone remembers the 45-0 game they put up on the Chargers last year. I mean, they do have the potential to put up these big time scoring games. Just needs to be on a more consistent basis, in my opinion, for this Patriots team. I'll get to the Jets now. Zach Wilson, 51 passing yards. He gets hurt in this game. Mike White comes in, 202 passing yards, a passing touchdown, but also 2 interceptions. So not too great for his first game in the NFL. Michael Carter, 11 carries on the ground for 37 yards, and Elijah Moore had 1 carry that went for 19 yards and a rushing touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Michael Carter, 8 catches, 67 receiving yards. Ty Johnson, 6 catches for 65 yards. And Corey Davis, 4 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown. Mete, I'll get to you on this Jets team. I don't know what else to think at this point, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, looks like another typical Jets season as they're off to another rough start. Also losing Zach Wilson is tough for them. I think he'll be out 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. So yeah, this season, I feel like it's just going to be a development year, especially for the younger guys like Zach Wilson, Michael Carter, and Elijah Moore. I think if those guys improve every week, the Jets fans should be happy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But speaking of quarterbacks getting injured, Patrick Mahomes getting injured in this game. The Chiefs lose to the Tennessee Titans 27-3. Yeah, there's not much else to say. The Titans pretty much dominated this game, and then Mahomes, he tried to start a comeback. He gets hurt, and then it just pretty much stays downhill from there. Getting to the Titans first, Ryan Tannehill, 270 pass yards, a passing touchdown, and an interception. The funniest thing is Derrick Henry threw a passing touchdown here. It went for 5 yards, pretty impressive. And then getting to Derrick Henry on the ground, 29 carries for 86 rush yards. It's not his normal efficiency, but 86 rush yards is still pretty solid. And then Ryan Tannehill, I believe, rushed for a rushing touchdown on his 2 carries that went for 6 yards. In terms of receiving, A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 133 yards and a touchdown. Julio Jones, 2 catches for 38 yards. Michael Pruitt, 2 catches for 27 yards. And I believe his receiving touchdown was the one from Derrick Henry. And yeah, Mete, I'll start with you on this Titans team. They beat 2 big teams in the AFC, both AFC championship teams in Kansas City and Buffalo. I guess what's next for this team?
Yeah, I was just going to say that 2 really impressive back-to-back weeks for the Titans, beating great teams like you said. Especially holding the Chiefs to 3 points. That's definitely not an easy task. Yeah, what's next for them? Reaching the Super Bowl, I guess, 2 years ago. They lost to the Chiefs in the championship, and then last season, I think they lost in the wild card to the Ravens, if I remember correctly. So yeah, they got close 2 seasons ago. I think they definitely have a shot to make the Super Bowl if they can play like they did in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say their defense has looked a lot better the last 2 weeks. That's definitely the thing we were concerned about early on. I think their next biggest test is against the Colts, I believe, who they're facing this week. So this Colts team's on the rise as well. So we'll definitely have to see how they fare there. For the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, 206 passing yards and an interception. He gets injured, obviously. Chad Henne comes in. He throws for 82 passing yards. In terms of work on the ground, Pat Mahomes leads with 6 carries for 35 yards. Darrell Williams had 5 carries for 20 yards. Then in terms of receiving, Byron Pringle, 5 catches for 73 yards. Travis Kelce, 7 catches for 65 yards. Tyreek Hill, 6 catches for 49 yards. And there pretty much wasn't anyone else notable here. Nate, I'll get to you on the Chiefs. Not a good outing from this team. Hopefully Patrick Mahomes is okay, but I guess what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess losing Patrick Mahomes is a really big blow for Kansas City. And I noticed that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still not playing. So this is not a good sign either. So they're really going to need the wide receivers to, I guess, really step up. And I guess the good sign is Chad Henne had a really good completion rate. So as long as he can keep his completion rate up, and I guess the wide receivers really step up, they still have a shot at the playoffs. The only problem is, I guess, how hurt Patrick Mahomes is, and would he be able to make it on time for the playoffs, and how deep would they be able to go?
Yeah, like what I was gonna say is that I think this is the worst way we'd see the Chiefs in terms of the way this team is constructed. This is the worst possible situation for them, in my opinion. Everyone getting hurt, the defense allowing points, the offense not generating anything, and they're still 3-4. I mean, if 3-4 is the worst Chiefs team, imagine what the best Chiefs team is. It's a team that could go to the Super Bowl. So they're at their low right now. I don't think it can get any lower for them, assuming Patrick Mahomes can come back and play. So I think it should be uphill for them from here on out. So hopefully we do see them getting some wins moving forward. Speaking of a team that just can't stop winning, though, the Green Bay Packers, they won 6 games in a row. They won 24-10 against the football team this week. Aaron Rodgers, 274 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Aaron Jones on the ground, 6 carries for 19 yards. Not really much on the ground here, but through the air, this team really capitalized. Devontae Adams, 6 catches, 76 yards and a touchdown. Robert Tonyan, 4 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. Alan Lazard, 5 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, yeah, they were really solid in this game. Nate, I'll get to you. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I mean, really good job by the Green Bay Packers. Even against Washington. I mean, Washington's defense hasn't been as good, but at the same time, Green Bay has been so solid. I feel like they're looking like one of the Super Bowl contenders this year.
Yeah, even if they're not a Super Bowl contender, they could even fight for the top seed in the NFC this year, the way they've been playing. They've been really solid. And then getting to Washington here, Taylor Heineke, 268 passing yards, a passing touchdown, and an interception. He also runs 10 times for 95 rush yards. Antonio Gibson ran 14 times for 51 yards. And in terms of receiving here, Terry McLaurin, 7 catches, 122 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown. Ricky Seals-Jones, 6 catches for 51 yards, and Adam Humphries, 3 catches for 36 yards, while J.D. McKissick had 4 catches for 34 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on Washington. I mean, this team, it's been a mixed bag for them so far this year. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been saying this and I'll still say it. I think the 2 biggest issues for Washington is the defense isn't as good as last season. So they've got to pick it up, number one. And then number two, I feel like they're lacking targets. McLaurin, McKissick, he's an all right target. Gibson's an all right target. And Logan Thomas is great, but he's not there right now. So outside of those four, I feel like they need better targets.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Whether a trade has to be made, whether guys like Humphreys have to step up or whatever the case is, they definitely have to open up some room for more targets. We haven't seen much from Curtis Samuel or De'Ami Brown from this team. So yeah, they definitely have some work to do on offense for sure. And then moving to the next game, the Atlanta Falcons beating the Miami Dolphins 30-28. Getting to the stats for the Falcons, Matt Ryan, 336 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception. Then in terms of rushing, Cordero Patterson, 14 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. And then on receiving, Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 163 receiving yards. Big day for him. Russell Gage, 4 catches, 67 yards and a touchdown. Hayden Hurst, 3 catches for 35 yards. And Calvin Ridley had 4 catches for 26 yards and a touchdown. Mete, I'll get you on the Falcons. I believe they've won 3 out of 4. Like this team is really trending up. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're turning it around. I think the biggest thing is that the offense is finally starting to play to their potential. We all know that they've got a weak defense, so the offense has to carry the load. They've got to put up 30s to win games, and they've been doing that recently. Matt Ryan has been playing great. Russell Gage, who I was showing a lot of love preseason or whatever when we were doing our rankings, he had a great game. So yeah, even Kyle Pitts, he's going crazy now. So yeah, I think the offense, they're finally clicking, and that's the main way they're going to win games, putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Hopefully, we can see some more from Calvin Ridley going forward. He's been a little underwhelming so far this season, but let's get to the Dolphins now. Tua Tagovailoa has been balling out every single game, 291 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but he did have 29 yards on the ground also. Myles Gaskin, though, had 15 carries for 67 yards on the ground. Then through the air, Mike Gesicki, 7 catches, 85 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 7 catches for 83 yards. And Durham Smythe, 3 catches, 37 yards. And then receiving touchdowns from these 3 guys, Mac Hollins, Isaiah Ford, and Myles Gaskin, all with under 20 yards receiving. But yeah, Nate, I'll get to you. This Dolphins team's lost 6 in a row. Tua's been back. He's balled out. This defense still can't stop anything. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they're in a similar situation as the Falcons in terms of their offense is really solid. There's not really too much they can do. Like maybe they could have run more, but at the same time they were behind, so like they didn't really have an option except to keep passing the ball, and it almost worked against the Falcons. But they're going to be in a situation where they're going to be going into kind of a lot of slugfests through the air. They're going to have to try to outgun other teams in order to win, kind of like the Falcons. And unfortunately, it didn't really work out. So they're going to have to find a way to at least increase their defense a little bit more.
Yeah, I know they're going to have to do something here because clearly whatever they're doing is not working. Yeah, hopefully they can figure it out, though. This Dolphins team started out well, but it's just really fallen off. Um, I guess speaking of a game that we were really surprised with, the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Baltimore Ravens 41-17. This Ravens defense has been so tight all year. I'm surprised they gave up this many points, but let's get to the stats here. Joe Burrow, 416 pass yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and an interception. And then on the ground, Joe Mixon, 12 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Samaje Perine had 11 carries for 52 yards and a rushing touchdown. And then let's get to receiving. Jamar Chase, he had a day, 201 receiving yards on 8 catches and a receiving touchdown. CJ Uzama had 3 catches for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 7 catches for 62 yards, and Tyler Boyd had 4 catches for 39 yards. Nate, I'll get to you on this Bengals team. Like, this is the biggest surprise I've seen probably most of the season.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, but I guess they did have the personnel to do it this year. I guess with Jamar Chase and all the wide receivers, they were able to click with Joe Burrow, and they were able to capitalize on the Ravens not being as good on the pass as they are against the run. And yeah, they really, really capitalized on that. I'm actually really impressed that they were able to shut down the Ravens passing game and their running game. I guess passing game maybe to a lesser extent because they were still able to get stuff through the air, but it wasn't nearly enough to beat the Bengals.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This Ravens secondary has been banged up ever since Marcus Peters went down. They just haven't had the personnel back there to be able to, stop the pass. So they've had to keep the other team in front of them, and it's worked for most games. But I guess it just didn't happen in this game. You talked about the Bengals defense. Yeah, they've been really solid lately. But let's get to the Ravens offense here. Lamar Jackson, 257 pass yards and a passing touchdown. Tyler Huntley comes in this game actually, and he throws for 39 passing yards after they benched Lamar. And then in terms of rushing, 12 carries for Lamar, 88 rush yards. So still a good day from him. Devontae Freeman, 4 carries, 14 yards, and a rushing touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Marquise Hollywood Brown, 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman, 3 catches for 80 yards. And Mark Andrews, 3 catches for 48 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on the Ravens. I guess, is this just a one-off, or is there a concern with this team?
Yeah, I think it's a one-off, like you said. I think that them not having Latavius Murray really hurt them. I know he hasn't been the greatest, but I mean he's performed better than what Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell put up this game. So yeah, I think having him would have helped. Sammy Watkins as well. He's been the second wide receiver there. Great target for Lamar. So yeah, they had injuries, like you said. But still, this is a really impressive win from the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, they're the 1 seed in the AFC as we speak. So that's really big for a team that, was a lottery team the last 3 years. So yeah, really impressive from this team. Getting to another team that looks like they're going to be a lottery team this year. It's the Detroit Lions, 0-7 to start. They lose to the Rams 28-19. Getting to the stats for the Rams, Matthew Stafford against his old team, 334 pass yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He had a big day. In terms of rushing, Darrell Henderson, 15 carries for 45 rush yards. Then in terms of receiving, Cooper Kupp, 10 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He just continues to produce. Robert Woods, 6 catches, 70 yards. Tyler Higbee, 5 catches for 46 yards. And Van Jefferson had 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Mete, I'll get to you on this Rams team. I know they're beating a lot of easier teams lately, but I mean, they're still 6-1. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you really can't fault them for beating the easier teams. They got to play who's on their schedule, but this was kind of a close game. Up until like the 4-minute mark, the Lions were driving, about to, I think, take the lead, and then Goff gets picked off by Jalen Ramsey. So that was a huge swing in the game. So yeah, a win's a win, but it was a little too tight for comfort.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Ramsey was really successful in this game. He blanketed St. Brown, didn't allow him to have any catches this whole game. But we'll get to the rest of the Lions stats here. Jared Goff, 268 passing yards, a passing touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Jamal Williams on the ground, 12 carries, 57 yards. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries for 48 yards. And then through the air, Khalif Raymond, 6 catches for 115 yards. DeAndre Swift had 8 catches for 96 yards and a receiving touchdown. TJ Hawkinson had 6 catches for 48 yards. And Nate, getting to on the Lions, I mean, this team is now alone and last in the league. I guess, what are your thoughts on this team?
I mean, they are still a rebuilding team, so on some level it's to be expected, but I don't think this was kind of the worst loss that they've had. I mean, this week we've seen some blowout losses, and then this loss was under 10 points. So if Jared Goff didn't throw those interceptions, it would have been a lot closer. So again, this is kind of I guess a relatively close game for the Lions. So I guess that's kind of like a good sign for them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There were a lot of blowouts this week, so not too bad for the Lions. Hopefully they can improve on that. There was a game that was a blowout until the Eagles brought it back. They couldn't bring it back enough. The Raiders beat the Eagles 33-22. Getting to the stats for the Raiders, Derek Carr, 323 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception. In terms of rushing, Kenyon Drake, 14 carries, 69 yards and a rushing touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 6 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. Then in terms of receiving, Foster Moreau, 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow, 7 catches for 58 yards. Zay Jones, 1 catch for 43 yards. And Brian Edwards, 3 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, Nate, I'll get to you first on this Raiders team. I mean, they're like 2-0 ever since they released John Gruden. And I mean, this team's looking like they're solid again. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I was really surprised because normally when you let go of your coach, the team starts to kind of fall apart. So I guess this kind of had the opposite effect, maybe shaking things up in terms of coaching staff, kind of tighten things up a little bit. So I guess we'll have to see kind of just how the coaching changes really affect things though.
Yeah, for sure. And then just getting to the Eagles now, Jalen Hurts, 236 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He also had 61 yards on the ground on 13 carries. Miles Sanders, 6 carries for 30 yards. Boston Scott had 7 carries for 24 yards and a rushing touchdown. Getting to receiving, Dallas Goedert, 3 catches, 70 yards. Devontae Smith, 5 catches for 61 yards. Kenneth Gainwell, 4 catches for 41 yards and a receiving touchdown. And Jalen Reagor had 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. I guess getting to you, Mete, what are your thoughts on this Eagles team?
Yeah, I feel like it's another team in the NFC East. They're better than what their record shows, and really unlucky for Miles Sanders, especially if you're a fantasy owner. It looked like he hasn't been getting many touches, and it finally looked like they were going to give him the touches he deserved, and then he gets hurt. So yeah, super unlucky. With them trading Zach Ertz now, before the season, if you guys remember, I was really high on Dallas Goedert. So yeah, this is his time to show that he can be one of the elite tight ends in the league.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking of Zach Ertz, let's get to his new team now. The Arizona Cardinals beating the Houston Texans 31-5. This was a DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt revenge game. And man, boy, did this Cardinals team play really well. Kyler Murray, 261 pass yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and an interception. In terms of rushing, Chase Edmonds, 15 carries for 81 yards. James Conner, 10 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown. It seems like Conner's getting a touchdown every week. He's having a really good year. And then in terms of receiving, AJ Green, 3 catches for 66 yards. Zach Ertz, 3 catches for 66 yards and a receiving touchdown, his first with his new team. DeAndre Hopkins, 7 catches, 53 yards and a touchdown. Christian Kirk, 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Mete, I'll just get right back to you. Cardinals team, undefeated, 7-0. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're definitely contenders, and the addition of Zach Ertz, I feel like, was the last missing piece for their offense. They've got great receivers, 2 great running backs with Connor and Edmonds, and then they were really missing a tight end, and yeah, they got Zach Ertz. So this is going to be a scary team this season for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. They've been beating pretty much everyone, easy teams, difficult teams. We'll have to see how they do in week 8, but I definitely like this Cardinals team for sure. Getting to the Texans, Davis Mills, 135 pass yards for him. In terms of rushing, David Johnson had 7 carries for 25 rush yards. Then in terms of receiving, Nico Collins, 2 catches for 28 receiving yards. David Johnson, 5 catches for 27 yards, and Brandon Cooks had 5 catches for 21 yards. Nate, I'll get to you on this Texans team. I mean, they're pretty much just the same every week without Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. We keep saying every week they need Tyrod Taylor to come back somehow because he is the spark of this Texans offense. I mean, they are pretty much outmatched by the Cardinals on both ends of the ball. So there wasn't too much they could have done, but I guess maybe they could have kind of leaned into their running game a little bit more to try to keep it closer.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 solid running backs, Johnson, Ingram, and Lindsey. Definitely, if they could run 2 running back sets at times and, just try and get the ball to them, I think it would definitely help them out. But I guess we'll have to see if they'll do that moving forward. Man, this next game was a blowout. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Chicago Bears 38-3. This was not even close on any level. Getting to the Bucs stats here. Tom Brady, 211 rush passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. And eventually Blaine Gabbert just came in. He threw for 15 passing yards. In terms of rushing, Leonard Fournette, 15 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown. Ronald Jones, 10 carries for 63 yards. And then getting to receiving, Chris Godwin, it was his big day this week. 8 catches, 111 yards and a receiving touchdown. Mike Evans had a big day as well. 6 catches, 76 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. So huge for him. And Nate, I'll get right back to you. Tampa Bay is just pretty much on a roll at this point.
Yeah, I guess they figured out how to flip the switch this season again, and even against a team that usually has good defense like the Chicago Bears. Although I guess their defense isn't as good this season, but still, they were able to, I guess, find the end zone multiple times, and they basically shut down the Bears offense as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Not much here from the Bears. Justin Fields, 184 passing yards and 3 interceptions, so not a good day for him. He did have 38 yards on the ground as well. Khalil Herbert was the only bright spot for this Bears team. He did have 100 rushing yards and 18 attempts, the most I think we've seen from any running back against the Bucs this year. So pretty solid. In terms of receiving, Cole Kmet, 5 catches, 43 yards. Darnell Mooney, 2 catches for 39 yards. And Khalil Herbert, 5 catches, 433 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on this Bears team. I mean, they'd been winning. I think they were 3-2 at one point, and now they're 3-4. I guess, what are your thoughts on this team?
Yeah, I feel like they're a decent team, but with Justin Fields, it's going to be a lot of games like this where it's just learning experiences for him as he's a rookie. But yeah, I really like what I saw from Khalil Herbert. I think they got a really good running back in him. Uh, if they want to, they could definitely look to trade Montgomery or something and try to go younger, but that's up to them to decide. But I feel like the biggest issue here is Allen Robinson. He's having a really tough season. And I don't know why, because I mean, he's put up 1,000-yard seasons with guys like Blake Bortles, Mitch Trubisky. So you can't really blame the quarterback. It's just something's off with him right now.
Yeah, there's a chance that he doesn't re-sign this summer. There's definitely a big chance that that doesn't happen. But yeah, moving on to the next game, we get to Sunday night. Indianapolis Colts beating the San Francisco 49ers 30-18. We'll look at the Colts here. Carson Wentz, 150 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He also rushed for 23 yards and a rushing touchdown. So 3 touchdown day for Carson Wentz. Great game for him. Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries, 107 rush yards and a rushing touchdown. So big game for him too. And then Michael Pittman, in terms of receiving, 4 catches, 105 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown. Moelle Cox had 3 catches for 25 yards and a receiving touchdown also. Mete, I'll get to you on this Colts team. They're really turning around their season. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they started 0-3, something like that. So definitely turning it around. Wentz, he's playing a lot better. I mean, 150 yards, not a lot, but he's not turning the ball over. He's throwing 2 touchdowns and he's getting the job done. So great job on him. Taylor too, great game. They didn't even have T.Y. Hilton this game, and he was great for them. So yeah, to beat a good defense like this is definitely impressive for the Colts.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That fumble that Wentz had, I mean, it was raining the entire game. Stadium was wet. The ball kind of slipped out. We all saw it. I wouldn't blame that on Wentz. He has been protecting the ball a lot better. Speaking of a guy that wasn't, though, I'll get to the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he had 181 pass yards. He had a passing touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions, one at the end that just really didn't look good. In terms of rushing, though, Eli Mitchell, 18 carries for 107 rush yards and a rushing touchdown. He had a great game. Then in terms of receiving, Deebo Samuel, 7 catches, 100 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown. And then Charlie Warner had 2 catches, 430 receiving yards. And that was pretty much it for the 49ers. Nate, I'll get to you. This 49ers team, they're banged up on defense. They're banged up on offense again. I mean, I guess what are your thoughts on this team going forward?
I guess they might end up struggling a little bit more until I guess their guys come back. I feel like San Francisco, they've been having injury issues for the past couple of years, and it's been kind of rough. So we'll just have to kind of see what adjustments they make going forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking of a team with injury issues, the Seattle Seahawks lose another close one to the New Orleans Saints on Monday night, 13-10. Getting to the Saints stats, Jameis Winston, 222 passing yards and a passing touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries for 51 rush yards. Jameis Winston at 8 carries for 40 rush yards. Then in terms of receiving, Alvin Kamara, 10 catches, 128 yards and a receiving touchdown. Adam Trotman had 3 catches for 36 yards, and Marquez Callaway had 3 catches for 32 yards. Nate, I'll get to you. I guess what are your thoughts on this Saints team?
I mean, I still think this was a pretty decent game by the New Orleans Saints. I guess it was a pretty close game, but the Saints are a pretty good team on both offense and defense. Even with, I guess, Geno Smith filling in, I guess this was a pretty good one.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get to Geno Smith now. He had 161 pass yards and a passing touchdown. And then in terms of rushing for the Seahawks, Alex Collins, 16 carries for 35 rush yards, so not much here. And then in terms of receiving, DK Metcalf had 2 catches that went for 96 yards and a touchdown. So pretty decent game from him. Freddie Swain, 4 catches for 39 yards, and then really just not much else from the rest of this team. Mete, I'll get to you on the Seahawks. I mean, is this team do we just write them off until Wilson comes back? Or I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like they are a write-off without Wilson. You just gotta wait for him and hope that they can go on a big win streak because first of all, they're in a really tough division and yeah, they're falling really behind now. They're 2-5, so they've got to turn it around quick with him. They even don't have Chris Carson, their starting running back. So yeah, missing 2 starters on your offense will definitely do things like this too.
Yeah, I can agree that their offense is pretty much a write-off at this point. Their defense has been better, which I do like. If they can get Wilson back, they definitely have a chance to get some wins. Whether they can make the playoffs or not, it'll just depend on when Wilson comes back. But that's definitely something we'll have to look out for. All right, let's move right into our fantasy pickups for week 8. Let's start with running backs. I'll go ahead and just get things started. I have Kenneth Gainwell, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. It looks like Miles Sanders has some type of ankle injury. I think he'll be out for at least 2 weeks, if not more. So Gainwell, he should be the main guy there. I know Boston Scott is there. There might be a 1A, 1B situation, but it looks like Kenneth Gainwell is the guy catching the passes in the backfield. So I'm kind of preferring him a little bit. So definitely go pick him up. I know he was owned in under 30% of leagues heading into this week. So you definitely want to jump on him as soon as you can. And then Mete, I'll get to you for your running back pickup for the week.
Yeah, I have Boston Scott. Pretty funny. Like you said, it is a 1A, 1B situation. Gainwell played 35 snaps and then Scott played 23. So he's not playing as much. But I really liked what I saw from Boston Scott in previous years. He's a shifty guy. He's a good pass catcher. So yeah, I think he's definitely worth rostering.
Yeah, I guess if you can't get Gainwell, you can get Boston Scott, and there's a chance that one of them is going to pop off. So you definitely have the option between the two. Nate, I'll get to you for your running back pickup for the week.
So for the week, I guess my running back is more of like a deep league pickup. Samaji Perine. He's mostly, I guess, for deep leagues mainly because they are facing the Jets, which that you should be able to get a lot of points, but at the same time, they might just lean into Joe Mixon. So it kind of depends on how many minutes that you think that Samaji's going to get.
I mean, if JJ Taylor can score 2 rushing touchdowns as a backup for the Patriots, I think he's even like a 3rd string running back. So Samaji is going to get work. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's pretty solid 1 week pickup at least. And I guess if you have Mixon, you should pretty much pick him up as a handcuff for sure. Then getting to wide receiver, I'll start here. I have Michael Gallup for the Dallas Cowboys. It looks like he's coming off IR this week. With Dak Prescott throwing an insane amount of passes as of late, Gallup's going to get work. He's more the deep threat, a stretch the field type guy for this offense. So he could take 3 catches for 70 yards and still have a decent fantasy day in your flex spot. So, I mean, he's definitely a guy that should be on most rosters in leagues, I guess 10 to 12 man. Anything deeper than that, there's no way he should be on the waiver wire, but Gallup's definitely a guy I would look at this week. Mete, I'll get to you for your wide receiver of the week.
Yeah, I was going to go with Rashad Bateman, but I decided to go with Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, and Alan Lazard. They're on COVID list. So yeah, the Packers are going to be short on targets, and Randall Cobb, he plays with Aaron Rodgers. They've played together before. They've got great chemistry. So yeah, I think he'll go to Randall Cobb a lot this week.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that pickup. Thursday night football as well, so you'll get those early points. Definitely go pick him up. And then Nate, getting to you for wide receiver, I guess who are you looking at?
I guess you could take a look at maybe Tim Patrick. He's about 38% rostered. He didn't have the best week last week, but over the entire year, he's been having pretty solid weeks. So depending, I guess, on the strength of the defense that Denver's facing, he should still be able to get some points for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Mete, you also mentioned Rashad Bateman. I know his team, I think they're on bye week this week, but you should probably go pick him up because once they come off bye week, he'll be in more demand. So if you have a chance to pick him up, now is a good time to go pick him up. And then I'll get to tight ends. Nate, I'll get to you for tight ends, I guess. So who's your tight end pickup for the week?
I guess for shallow leagues, you can take a look at CJ Uzoma. I mean, the Bengals, they've been playing really solid right now. Uzoma, he's been getting a lot of catches. He's been able to get fantasy points. That's really important for tight ends. So I think for shallow leagues, you can definitely take a look at him. Most likely, he's probably going to be around 40 or 50% this week if he ends up having a really big game again, but we'll have to see about that. And then for deep leagues, you can maybe take a look at Pat Freiermuth. I think for deep leagues, he's been having decent enough fantasy points that you can kind of pick him up. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of those guys. Freiermuth just coming off a bye week. Some people might not be keeping an eye on him. He's definitely a guy you should be looking out for sure. And then getting to quarterbacks, I have Tua Tagovailoa again because, I mean, he's putting up over 20 fantasy points per game and people are still not picking him up. He's still under 50% rostered. I don't know what the stigma is with this guy. It's not the offense's fault that this team's losing games. He's still putting up great stats. The guy threw 4 touchdown passes this week. I mean, what more does he have to prove? He's a solid quarterback. He could be a borderline starter in standard 12-team leagues. So definitely go pick him up. He's really solid for sure. And then Mete, I'll get to who's your quarterback pickup for the week.
Yeah, I actually went for Joe Flacco. Zach Wilson, he just got hurt. I know he plays for the Jets now, and a lot of people would want to avoid that. But what I see in the Jets is a bad team that's going to fall behind. Flacco will get a lot of throwing opportunities, and he played there last season, so he's pretty similar, familiar with the system. Sorry, and yeah, he's a good veteran quarterback. He put up pretty good numbers, honestly, for being on the Jets last season. So yeah, he might even be better than Zach Wilson right now. I'd go for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy you can look at. I know technically they have a lot of new coaches, so the system might be a bit different, but I know he's familiar with a lot of the players there. So that's definitely something you want to look out for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this week's pickup. So let's just move into the preview for week 8. We'll start with the Thursday matchup. Nate, I'll get to you for Green Bay against Arizona for fantasy.
I guess for starts for Green Bay, you can maybe take a look at Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. You could take a look at Tanyan as well, and Randall Cobb, and maybe Equanimous St. Brown. The reason you take a look at those guys instead of Devontae Adams or Alan Lazard or even Valdez-Scantling is basically they're all out. Scantling's on IR. Lazard's out due to COVID protocol, so is Devontae Adams. And for Arizona, you can take a look at most of their roster actually. Kyler Murray, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Zach Ertz, and you can even take a look at Chase Edmonds and Rondale Moore for deeper leagues as well.
Yeah, for sure. I guess if they activate Valdez-Scantling off IR, would you start him over St. Brown?
I guess maybe you could. My only concern with I guess either option is they may not get enough I guess catches in order to be fantasy relevant. So you're gonna have to, I guess, double check for both players, especially if Scantling comes off of IR.
All right, for sure. And speaking of that whole COVID thing, it's really moved the spread here. The Cardinals are now even heavier favorites. They're at 6.5 points now. Nate, I'll get to you first. Do you like the Cardinals favored or do you like the Packers as underdogs?
I still kind of like the Cardinals. I mean, they are 7-0 until a team kind of beats them or forces them not to cover. I feel like you should just ride with them.
All right, and Mete, getting to you, I guess, what's your feel for this game?
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go with the Cardinals. They're at home. Spread is a bit large, but yeah, there's just way too many injuries or people out for the Packers that I just have to side with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think this might end up being a frustrating game for Aaron Rodgers if he can't get his offense going, if they're not catching passes. I know normally this game would have the feel of like a 3 or 4 point win for a team. But yeah, I think there is a good chance the Cardinals pull away of this game. I just watched the spread though. If it keeps climbing over a touchdown, then maybe I would side with the Packers. But I guess right now I like the Arizona Cardinals here. I'm getting to the next game, Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions. I'll preview this one for fantasy. Guys, you want to start for the Eagles: Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Gainwell, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. And potential starts, maybe in deep leagues or guys you should sit. I got Jalen Reagor, Boston Scott, Quez Watkins, and Miles Sanders if he somehow plays, but he's most likely going to be out. And then for the Lions, my only two starts would be DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson, as they've been the only reliable ones. And then guys that I'd either start in deep leagues or I'd probably sit would be Jared Goff, Jamal Williams, Khalif Raymond, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Getting to the spread for this game, looks like the Eagles are favored by 3.5 on the road. Mete, I'll start with you. Which way do you like here?
3.5. Yeah, I think they should cover that. The Lions, they're 0-7. Eagles, 2-5. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to trust the Lions right now.
All right, Nate, getting to you, I guess, which side would you be on here?
I guess just to be different, I'll go with the Lions. The Lions, they are sometimes able to cover, and the Eagles, they haven't had the best offense in the league. I think their offense is like bottom 3 at the moment. So if the Lions play hard enough, they might actually be able to cover this.
Can I be different than both of you? Can I say the Lions might actually win this game? I don't know. They're at home. I'm actually feeling like this could be a game that the Lions might actually win. So I will take the Lions to cover here. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. It's a weird feeling. I know the Eagles are a better team, but I don't know. This just feels like the type of game that could go the Lions' way. So we'll definitely have to see what happens. So yeah, I will take the Lions as well. And then getting to the next game, Miami against Buffalo. Mete, I'll get to you for that for fantasy.
All right, so for Miami, like you said, James, Tua has been on a tear, so you could start Tua Tagovailoa probably in deeper leagues, or if you're in a tough quarterback situation, if you have like a bye week, tough matchup. If your quarterback one is struggling or he's injured, you definitely got to take a look at Tua. Miles Gaskin, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, he's been great lately. And Devontae Parker, if he can play, he's questionable right now. So yeah, just check out if he'll be able to go. For Buffalo, Josh Allen, Zach Moss, and Devin Singletary, I'd go for in deeper leagues, or if you have a running back situation, as their run game hasn't been too reliable. So, yeah, Stephon Diggs for sure, Manuel Sanders, and Cole Beasley is definitely worth a look as well.
All right, for sure. And getting to the spread here, Buffalo's favored by 14 points. Mete, I'll start with you, I guess. So what do you think about this spread?
It's kind of a larger spread, but the Dolphins, they haven't been too impressive so far this year. So it's honestly a really tough call. I'll just go with Buffalo. I can trust them right now.
Yeah, actually, I think I misread. The spread is at 13 and a half right now. It could get to 14, though, the way this is going. Nate, I'll get to you. Who do you like here?
I guess I'll go with the Dolphins mainly because this is pretty much going to be another slugfest through the air. I feel like the Dolphins most likely aren't going to be able to stop the Bills, but if Tua plays like he's been playing so far, and the Bills they don't kind of tighten up their pass defense, they might end up, I guess, being able to cover 13 and a half or 14.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. The Bills have been allowing a lot of points. They'll definitely win this game for sure. But yeah, I think I might like the Dolphins to cover here. Their offense isn't the problem. I think their offense can score, so I think they will score in this game. So yeah, Nate, I'll also go with the Dolphins as well. Nate, I'll get to you now. Bengals versus the Jets for fantasy.
I guess for Bengals, there's quite a few players you can start because they've been really good. You can start, I guess, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and CJ Uzoma. And then in deeper leagues, you can even start Tyler Boyd. And I guess for the Jets, it's been looking kind of rough for them, but you can maybe start Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder. And then in deep leagues, you can start Michael Carter.
All right, sounds good. And getting to the spread, Bengals are favored by 10 and a half. Nate, which side are you looking at?
10 and a half is kind of a lot, but the Ravens are a better team than the Jets, and the Bengals were able to cover that. So I think they should be able to cover this as well.
Yeah, for sure. I am gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take the Bengals as well. Like you said, they really beat down a Ravens team that just didn't really come out to play, and the Jets haven't been coming out to play almost every week. So, yeah, I'll definitely agree with you. I guess Mete, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's hard to trust the Jets, even though they're at home. And I feel like 10 and a half, it's not even that big of a spread. So Bengals seems like the right choice here.
I mean, you could have put the spread at minus 30 for the Patriots this week if they would have covered it. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree to what you have to say there. San Francisco against Chicago. I'll cover that one for fantasy. For the 49ers, they just really haven't been getting a lot of offense with all their injuries. Only guys I'd probably start are Eli Mitchell and Deebo Samuel. The rest of the offense has not been reliable enough. In deep leagues, you could look at Garoppolo. He has been turning over the ball over a lot, which is a problem. Trey Sermon's not getting much work, and Brandon Ayuk has pretty much fallen off the map at this point. So probably don't even touch him at all. You can drop him if you want to. And then getting to Chicago, Khalil Herbert obviously is the starter until Montgomery comes back. You got to roll out Robinson most likely if you have him because there are bye weeks and you probably drafted him high. And Darnell Mooney's getting the most targets in this offense, so you're probably going to roll him out because he's going to pop off at any time. And guys I'd sit, probably Justin Fields, Damian Williams only got 5 carries last game, so you can sit him. Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham, they're not reliable enough, so you can sit them as well. And then getting to the spread for this game, I guess as of right now, where's the spread here? Yeah, it's at 3.5 for the 49ers. Mete, I'll start with you. Which side do you like better here?
Uh, this is a tough one as well. I I'm not really the biggest fan of the 49ers this season. And the Bears are with a rookie quarterback, so it's a tough call for me. I think I'll just go with the 49ers since they got the plus, and yeah, I feel like it's a toss-up game.
Yeah, actually, I think the 49ers are favored in this game at 3.5.
Oh,
Does that change
okay.
anything?
Yeah, then I'd go with the Bears.
All right, Nate, I'll bounce it to you. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I feel like this should be a stay away game, but um, I guess I'd go with the Bears as well, because even if Justin Fields he doesn't have the best week, they still should have the running game to keep up with the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually agree with you guys. The Bears are at home, and yeah, getting points. Yeah, it seems like the right pick, but then yeah, I'm not really sure. That's sort of where my lean is. So yeah, I am gonna side with the same team as you guys in the Bears. And then getting to the next game, Atlanta against Carolina. Mete, I'll get it to you for fantasy.
All right, so for Atlanta, Matt Ryan in deeper leagues, or if you got a tough quarterback situation, he's been great lately. Cordero Patterson, it looks like he's taken over as the starting running back. Calvin Ridley, like you said, James, he needs to pick it up, but you still got to start him. And then definitely start Kyle Pitts. And then for Carolina, the only two guys I'm trusting right now is Chuba Hubbard and DJ Moore.
All right, and getting to the spread here, the Falcons are now favored by 3. I know coming into the week, the Panthers were favored, but they just haven't looked great. Falcons are favored by 3. Mete, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, another tough one. Like you said, the Panthers, they've been looking really shaky lately. So I think due to that, I'd probably go with the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons are looking better and better each week for me. I think I might lean the same way as you, but I guess Nate, what are your thoughts?
I guess I was thinking about maybe sticking with the Panthers, but I guess until the Panthers get their momentum back, maybe you should kind of go against them.
All right, sounds good. And then getting to the next matchup, Cleveland against Pittsburgh. Nate, I'll get to you for this preview.
So I guess Cleveland's a little bit tougher to tell because there's so many people who are questionable. Nick Chubb is questionable, so you want to double check to see if Nick Chubb is going to be playing before Thursday. Dernis Johnson, he should be good if Nick Chubb isn't playing. Jarvis Landry is also questionable, but you should be able to be good to start him for now. Kind of a similar situation with Odell. He's playing hurt right now, but he still looks like he wants to play. So for now, maybe you can start him. And then in deep leagues, you can maybe take a look at Rashard Higgins. Donovan Peoples Jones is also questionable, so you're going to want to double check. And so you can maybe take a look at Austin Hooper and David Njoku in deeper leagues, especially if um, more than one receiver is out.
All right. And then I guess for Pittsburgh, who are you looking at?
For Pittsburgh, you can maybe take a look at Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Pat Fryermuth. Juju's still on IR right now, so don't start.
All right, for sure. And then getting to the spread here, the Browns are at home. They're favored by 3.5. I guess, Nate, are you sticking with the Browns or do you like Pittsburgh here?
It's really hard to tell because we don't know if Baker is going to be playing. Unfortunately, I'm not really the biggest believer in Casey Keenum right now, and we don't know if Nick Chubb is playing. We don't know if a lot of guys are playing. I think Kareem Hunt is. You can't really rely on him to start because he's still injured. It's going to be hard to say. I want to say roll with Cleveland, but I feel like the Steelers might actually be able to cover this.
All right, Mete, getting to you. I guess, which side are you leaning here?
Yeah, like Nate said, due to us not knowing who's going to play for the Browns at this moment, if you were to bet, you should probably go with for the Steelers, but I would probably just wait until Sunday, probably around like 12 o'clock. That's when we'll probably know most news of who's going to play for the Browns. So yeah, if you're betting right now, just go for the Steelers.
Yeah, I'd honestly probably take the Steelers, whether whoever's playing for the Browns or not. If Chubb's in, if Baker's in, I'd still take the Steelers just because they're not going to be at 100%. Steelers coming off a bye against Cleveland with Mike Tomlin as a coach. They are 3-0. So this Pittsburgh team coming off a bye in general, they have a winning record. Coming off a bye against Cleveland, they're undefeated. I think this is just the spot where you just got to hammer Pittsburgh. So I'm going to do that here, no matter who's in the lineup for Cleveland. I like Pittsburgh at plus 3.5. I think they'll be pretty solid in this game. And then getting to the next game, Houston Texans against the LA Rams. I'll preview that for fantasy. So we'll start with the Texans. The only guy you're starting is Brandon Cooks, but he's been a pretty shaky start as of late. So there's a chance I might not even start him at all. Deep league guys, Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay. And if you're desperate at quarterback, you can roll with Davis Mills. Probably get picked off a couple times by Jalen Ramsey in this game, but yeah, he's just if you want to give him a look, why not? Yeah, and then for the Rams, Matty Stafford, Darrell Henderson, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Tyler Higbee. And then I guess deep league looks are Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson, and Sony Michel. So we'll just get to the spread on this game. It looks like it's gone up to 14.5 now for the Rams. I don't know. I might lean with the Texans here just because the Rams had a huge spread against the Lions last week and they didn't cover it. There's a chance that they don't cover this one, but I don't know, Mete, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think I'll have to go with the Rams, even though it's a bigger spread. Yeah, the Texans without Tyrod Taylor, they're super hard to trust, even with big spreads. So I'd go for the Rams.
All right, Nate, and then what are your thoughts?
I would still go with the Rams. I guess like any team that's like a playoff level team, it looks like they've been able to cover against the Texans even with really big spreads. So can't really trust the Texans until Tyrod Taylor comes back.
Yeah, for sure. And then getting to the next game here, the Indianapolis Colts against the Tennessee Titans. Mete, I'll get to you for that preview.
Yeah, so for the Colts, Carson Wentz, he's been great lately. Jonathan Taylor for sure, Michael Pittman, and I'd go for T.Y. Hilton, if he could play. And then for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill in deeper leagues, or if you got a quarterback situation, Derrick Henry for sure, A.J. Brown for sure, and then Julio Jones, I'd go for in deeper leagues. He's definitely got talent, but it's just he hasn't been the greatest fit with Tennessee so far. So yeah, only in deeper leagues I'd start Julio.
All right. And then getting to the spread here, Titans are only favored by 1 point. This is like a pick a winner game. So Mete, who's going to win this game?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of like picking the winner. Titans really impressive last 2 weeks, but Colts have been picking it up. They're at home. Let's just roll with the Titans. Since they've beaten two really good teams, I'll trust them for this one.
All right, Nate, who are you taking here to win this game?
I guess just to be different, I'll go with the Colts. That it'll pretty much come down to passing versus running. Nobody's been able to stop Derrick Henry so far, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of rushing touchdowns. But at the same time, Tennessee isn't the best at stopping the pass, so I guess that's going to be kind of an opportunity for the Colts to keep up with the Titans.
Yeah, and then for me, just looking at this spread, like I said, it's pretty much a pick 'em at this point. I mean, if this game comes down to the wire, like the Buffalo Tennessee one did, would I trust Carson Wentz more than we trusted Josh Allen to get the 1 yard? From what I've seen lately, I'd probably say yes. I mean, that fake that he did to get that rushing touchdown was pretty impressive on Sunday. And I mean, if they need a big play from Wentz, whether it's a deep ball, whatever it is, he's been able to do it. So yeah, I think I might lean with the Colts here at home. They've been looking really good. They did lose to the Titans. This is sort of like getting one back on this team. Yeah, so I am going to go with the Colts here as well. Getting to the next game here, Jacksonville against Seattle. Nate, I'll get to you for fantasy.
So for Jacksonville, you can maybe take a look at James Robinson, Marvin Jones Jr., Laviscus, Chenault, and then maybe for deeper leagues, you can take a look at Trevor Lawrence, depending on how you feel about Seattle's defense. And I guess for Seattle, you can take a look at Alex Collins, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. In deeper leagues, you can take a look at Gerald Everett. And I guess if you really like how Geno Smith's been playing, you can take a look at him as well, because I guess Jacksonville may, I guess, give up a little bit more points to Geno Smith. Kind of depends.
All right, and getting to the spread here, Seahawks are favored by 3.5. Nate, which side are you on here?
It's gonna be kind of hard to say. I guess maybe you can take a look at the Seahawks.
All right, Mete, which side are you on here?
Sorry, what was the spread?
That's 3.5 for the Seahawks.
Okay. I think I'll go with Jacksonville. Seattle's been really tough on offense lately, so yeah, I'll go for the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think I might lean with the Seahawks here. I mean, they are at home. It is only 3.5, so I mean, maybe they get the win here. I think they can cover it. Their defense has been better, kind of liking what I've been seeing lately. So yeah, I'm gonna sort of lean with the Seahawks here. And then getting to the next game, LA Chargers against the New England Patriots. I'll preview this one for fantasy. For the Chargers, you're starting Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Jared Cook. And then maybe deep league starts will be like Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, or you probably sit them. And then for the Patriots, you're starting Damian Harris, Jacoby Myers, and Hunter Henry. And then guys that you probably only start in deep leagues will be like Mac Jones, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, and Jonnu Smith. And then getting to the spread for this game here, it looks like the Chargers are favored by 5.5. Mete, I'll start with you this time. Which side are you leaning here?
5.5. Chargers at home. I think I might have to go with the Chargers. It's not the biggest spread, and like I said, they're at home. So yeah, I kind of like the Chargers here.
All right, Nate, getting to you. I guess which side are you on here?
I guess it's pretty much a situation of two really solid teams. So I guess I'll still go with the Chargers at this point.
All right, and yeah, I think at 2.5, I think there's a chance I would have taken the Chargers, but now at 5.5, there's no way I'm not taking New England here. We saw how they've kept it close with pretty much every single team. Dallas only covered on them at the end of the game there in overtime. It was pretty much deadlocked. They covered against a tough Bucs team. They've been covering against a lot of tough teams. And yeah, so I'm just going to keep rolling with the Patriots. They've just been covering the spread lately, and I really like what they've been doing. So yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots here. Getting to you, Mete, Washington against Denver. Preview that one for fantasy.
All right, so for Washington, Taylor Heineke in deeper leagues, or if you're in a tough quarterback situation, Antonio Gibson, 100%. Terry McLaurin, another no-doubter. And then Ricky Seals-Jones, I'd go for in deeper leagues, or if you're in a tough tight end situation. For Denver, Melvin Gordon, probably in like deeper leagues, Javonte Williams. I'd probably start him in kind of deeper leagues as well, like around 12 teams or more. Cortland Sutton for sure. Noah Fant, I think for sure as well. And then Jerry Jeudy, if he plays, he's questionable right now, I think, or something like that. And then if he doesn't play, maybe you could look at Tim Patrick.
All right, and let's get to the spread now. The Broncos are favored by 3 at home. Mete, which way are you looking here?
I might have to go with Washington. Denver is at home, but they're on a 4-game losing streak. They really haven't looked that great. So yeah, I think I'll side with Washington.
All right, Nate, getting to you. I guess which side are you on here?
I'll go with the Broncos. Washington's defense hasn't been so great, especially against the pass. And they have really good wide receivers and a pretty solid quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater in Denver. So I'll go with the Broncos.
All right, for me, I guess this is a coin flip game for me. I'll take the points with the Washington football team. So yeah, I will definitely lean there. This game could go any which way. I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams covered, but yeah, I'm sort of going to lean with Washington there. Nate, I'll get to you. Tampa Bay against New Orleans. Preview that one for fantasy.
So for Tampa Bay, it's pretty much a starter heavy team. So whoever's on the starters for Tampa Bay, you can take a look at Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. Gronk, as long as he's healthy, you can start him. And then for New Orleans, you can take a look at Alvin Kamara and Marcus Callaway. And then maybe for deep leagues, you can take a look at Jameis Winston. For tight ends, it kind of depends who starts. If Jawan Johnson is starting, maybe you can start him. If Adam Trotman is starting, maybe you can start him. It just kind of depends who you think is going to be the starter.
All right, and let's move to the spread now. Tampa's favored by 5.5. Some places says 5. Actually, I think it's now down to 5. Nate, which side are you taking here?
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. They've just been really solid this year, and I feel like 5 is doable. It's pretty much just like either 2 field goals or just 1 score. So I feel like Tampa Bay can cover that.
Yeah, I think for me, the Saints have been an up and down team. They've just had their up, and now it's time for their down. So, yeah, Tampa Bay should win by at least a touchdown for me. So I'll go with Tampa. And Mete, getting to you, I guess, which side are you on?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I missed the spread again.
It's 5 for Tampa Bay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have to go Tampa Bay. I know the Saints are home, but the Buccaneers, they're playing amazing right now. So I don't want to go against the Bucs right now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to go against the Bucs right now. No matter who they're playing, they're definitely a really solid team. Mete, I'll jump to you. Sunday night, Dallas against Minnesota. Preview this for fantasy.
Yeah. So thankfully, Dallas gets their bye week out of the way. And for the Cowboys, I go for the guys I usually start: Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard in deeper leagues, Dalton Schultz. He's been amazing this season. Mari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and then maybe Michael Gallup if he's able to play. And for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins. He's also had a great season. Dalvin Cook for sure, Adam Thielen for sure, Justin Jefferson 100%, and then Ty Conklin if you're in a deeper league or you have a tough tight end situation.
All right, and getting to the spread, Cowboys are favored by 2.5. I'm going to take the Cowboys here until they prove otherwise. I think they're the best against the spread team in the NFL. They keep covering every game, so I'm going to go with them. Mete, which side are you on?
Yeah, you don't even have to ask me. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I knew it. And Nate, getting to you, which side are you on here?
I guess I'll ride the Cowboys train as well.
I mean, best team against the spread right now in the NFL. You got to keep riding that train. And then getting to the Monday night game, I'll preview it: Kansas City against the Giants. For the Chiefs, if Mahomes is healthy, you're starting him. Darrell Williams, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Then you're probably sitting guys like Jerick McKinnon, McCole Hardman, Byron Pringle, Demarcus Robinson, and Josh Gordon. And then for the Giants, I don't know who to start here. Saquon Barkley, if he plays. If he doesn't play, you're starting Devontae Booker. And I don't know if I'd start anyone else. Deep leagues, Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton. And I don't think Kenny Golladay is going to play, or Kadarius Toney. So yeah, there's pretty few options here with the Giants team. Getting to the spread here, it's -9.5 for the Chiefs. I think I might go with the Giants here. I don't know if Mahomes is going to be fully healthy, but I guess Nate, what are your thoughts?
It kind of depends on, I guess, like what you said, depends if Mahomes is healthy. If he's not playing, I think you can go with the Giants. If he's playing, I mean, there might be a chance for an upset as well.
All right, and Mete, which side are you leaning here? Chiefs are favored by 9.5.
Yeah, I feel like that spread is too big. The Chiefs, they haven't been reliable lately. So, yeah, I might have to go with the Giants as well.
All right, and that's going to be the end of this Fanatics football episode. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at FanFan Podcast. We've been posting picks every day. Definitely go check those out. Check us out on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts for this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications on YouTube, leave us a review, all that good stuff. And yeah, guys, this should be a great slate of football. Not too many bye weeks this week, lots of good games. And we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.